And our next speaker is going to be Charlie DeFore, a university professor and photo artist. Something in the water, I think. There's a lot of that going around.
Looks like it's perfect. It's fine. Growing up in northern Maine, in a family that we didn't really have a lot of money, I wasn't going to have a lot of equipment to do sports. So the kind of sports that I did, and I was pretty athletic when I was in high school, were always the ones that didn't require a lot of materials. There was no money for that stuff. So by the time I was in my late 20s and my friends are now all skiing, now I'm going to have to consider doing skiing, which I had never thought of doing before, but it's a lot of money, as you well know. So I joined my friends. They're having a big ski party, and I learned how to ski. I teach myself how to ski. I figure, they've been skiing before, but I need to learn how to stop and how to turn. If I can stop and I can turn, then I can do anything. Just be good at stopping, be good at turning. And I went over and over in my head, stop and turn. So all morning on the bunny trail, I was, stopping and turning, stopping and turning. And come on up and jump. Nope, stopping and turning, stopping. Got to learn how to stop and turn. So by the afternoon, I knew how to stop and I knew how to turn. So then I started skiing. Well, that winter I skied 3 times. And by the 3rd time I was skiing, I actually could do a black diamond trail. Now, black diamond are the expert trails. And those, there are 2 types of black diamond trails as far as I could understand. There are the moguls, and you have to have skill for those. And then there's the ones that are just steep. You just have to have guts for those. And I could do those because I could stop and I could turn. As long as I can stop, I'll be okay. So Pete was one of my friends, on one of the years that I'm skiing, we're going up the ski lift and we're laughing and we're cracking up and we're on a moderate trail. So we get off and we're looking for our sign for the moderate trail. We've totally been talking and laughing the whole way up. So we see a sign, and the only sign we see has 2 black diamonds on it. So it's a double black diamond trail, which is an expert trail. And like, well, where's the moderate sign? Expert. We're gonna have to do this. Well, there's a line of people and they're all lined up side by side and they're all just doing this. And we're like, well, that's, I guess, where we need to go. So then we kind of ski our way over there. And what are they looking at? So then we kind of go over, and then you almost fall. And you look, it is absolutely straight down. It is straight down. All of these people knew that they were going there. They are experts. Me and Pete are not. So why don't they just go? Well, the reason they're not just going, even though they're experts, is because before you go, you have to avoid that expert who fell, and avoid that expert who fell. Oh, another one just fell. Oops, another one just fell. So they're just littering that hill with experts. And so I'm assessing the situation, and I realize, fuck it. So I looked at Pete, fuck it. We're gonna fall anyway. Let's just go. So I'm gonna go, are you ready to go? And he looks at me and he says, I'm fucking shitting my fucking pants right now. I got fucking... 2 different interpretations. He's completely petrified, I'm completely thrilled. I said, okay, fine, I'll see you down at the bottom. And then I just take off, and I turn, and I stop, and I turn, and I stop, and I tumble, and I fall, and I roll. So then an expert, throws me my pole, and a different expert throws me my goggles, and a different expert throws me one of my skis. Of course, I'm sliding down the whole way at that point. So I get to the bottom, and I say, okay, where's Pete? He's not down here. He's not up there. That's not Pete, that's not Pete, that's not Pete, that's not Pete, that's not Pete. Of all the people who have fallen, he's not down here. He's not up there. Where the hell is Pete? And then kind of to my left, I can see something in the woods, and it's Pete. He's taken off his skis, and he's walking down the hill. So then we continue our skiing. We meet up at lunchtime with other friends of ours who are better skiers than us. And they're going to join us, and that's all well and good. So we're on a moderate trail. And the way we would do this is one of us would go, and then we'd all stop at that end, and then a different person would go, and then we'd follow that person, and then we'd all wait for each other. So I'm going to go first. So I'm with Pete, Pat, and Paul. I only ski with people whose names begin with P. So I'm with Pete, Pat, and Paul, and I go, and I start going, and I'm swooshing around, and I'm skiing, and I'm doing well. And then Pete, remember Pete? Pete zooms right fucking by me, and I'm like, holy shit, the fuck, this is Pete. Well, if Pete can do this, I can do this. So now I start following Pete, and like, he's fucking going fast. And I'm thinking, I can't believe how fucking fast I'm going. And like, my heart's doing this, and I'm going, and I can't believe I'm doing this, my God. And now I start laughing, because I can't believe how good of a skier I am. I never knew that. And I'm like, wow, this is great. And then I tumble and crash and burn, and there's snow all over the place. So then I look up. Well, first I look over to Pete, and Pete just keeps going. And I'm like, what the fuck's he doing? He's supposed to wait for us. So I look up, completely expecting to see Pat and Paul laughing at me. And indeed, I look up, there's Pat and Paul, and they're totally laughing at me. Pat and Paul and Pete. Pat and Paul and Pete. It wasn't Pete, it was somebody with the same ski jacket as Pete. These fucking ski jackets. Had I known it wasn't Pete, I never would have gone at that speed. But sometimes in life, you're faced with a situation where you've got to just do it, and you're fooled into doing something you didn't realize it was going to be, but it ends up turning out all right. And other times in life, I'm running out of breath because I've been skiing up here. Other times in life, you're faced with a hill that you think is impossible. You just have to say, fuck it, and just do it. It'll be fine. Thanks.